Welcome to the show, and truly tragic, just disgusting news to start with today. The Trump administration has done it again, except this time they deported a 2-year-old American citizen, Manu, as she is known, Emanuele Borges Santos, born in Florida, American passport, social security number, American citizen, even if people like Ted Cruz don't like that. But none of that stopped Donald Trump's deportation machine. They packed her up along with 94 others, put her on a plane, and shipped them to Brazil. This is a 2-year-old who is now stateless, almost like the Tom Hanks movie where he's stuck in an airport terminal after his country goes into some kind of non-status, I guess. I don't remember the movie exactly. And she is on a tourist visa in a rural town with no access to health care and no access to school. Visa's about to expire, and Brazil, stunned by what happened, is now scrambling to invent a legal category that doesn't exist, something called temporary citizenship, which would vanish when she turns 18. Clearly a move done out of empathy for her situation, but also not particularly reassuring since it is something that evaporates when she turns 18. Her parents, undocumented, yes, but asylum seekers who were fleeing violence and corruption in Brazil. This is another MAGA would like the law to be different, but the law is the law. And they don't like to acknowledge that if you are seeking asylum and you've done so in the legal process, you have a temporary status in the United States. You don't have permanent status, but this is a distinction that seems lost accidentally or deliberately on so many people. So they were fighting their case in court. The now 2-year-old, born in 2022, a judge paused their deportation, but then ICE summons them, hands them forms in a language they don't understand, and simply deports them anyway. They say they were never told they had a choice about the fate of their daughter. And meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security, now led by cosplaying, cosplay Barbie, Kristi Noem, is insisting that the entire story is fake news. They claim that the parents always get a choice. You can take the kids or you can leave them here. But the kicker, of course, is her family says it never happened. And if it did, it sounds like there was not appropriate language used in order to communicate this. They were just put on a plane. Now, you might say, David, the story sounds a little familiar, and you'd be right, because this isn't the first time that this has happened. Last month, 3 additional U.S. citizen children, age 2, 4, and 7, were deported to Honduras. One of them had cancer, deported without even his medication. And Donald Trump's Justice Department is still waiting on a Supreme Court ruling about ending birthright citizenship, something he would love to do. So if they win, these stories, which right now are less common, we might call them flukes, although I don't know that Trump and Homan see them that way. If they win in court, these stories are going to become policy. And we should also kind of acknowledge that even the term, we're looking for the terms that apply here. But deportation, it's probably not the right word, because you can't deport a U.S. citizen. What you're talking about is exiling a U.S. citizen, which is explicitly unconstitutional. Not that we care about the law anymore when it's inconvenient if we're MAGA, but the 8th and 14th Amendments protect citizens from being exiled from their own country. Manu's only country is the United States. But Trump and his allies play the word games, they play semantic games, they don't care about the Constitution unless it's the Second Amendment. Then all of a sudden, the Constitution matters. And even then, by the way, that might be up for grabs once this administration realizes that it's hard to run a police state when you've got an armed public. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Second Amendment becomes inconvenient to them in their authoritarian goals. So I don't even like the term banana republic, but we are sort of entering territory of the sorts of countries that are sometimes described pejoratively as banana republics. Presidents illegally exiling American citizens with no due process. So this is not, oh, I don't know what like a vehicle efficiency standards should be. I'm not sure if we should go all electric by 2035, right? Policy disagreements. These are not gray areas nor policy disagreements. These are impeachable offenses being done by Donald Trump. And in a fully functioning democracy, which we don't have here, we have at best a flawed democracy, it would have been presidency ending, just what has happened in these first, 120 something days. We don't have a fully functioning democracy. We have Kristi Noem riding camels in Bahrain while her department ships toddlers across international borders like they're a box of cell phones. And at this rate, maybe, I said I don't think we're going to reopen Alcatraz when Trump said that. I just don't think it's going to happen. We can't possibly rehab it in the 3.5 years that are left of Trump's term. Maybe we will end up reopening Alcatraz, not for immigrants, but for the people who deserve to be there, those that are carrying out these insane policies. Now, they are hoping that you stop paying attention. They are hoping that you look away. My suggestion is that you do not.
Did you know that countless commercial databases and people search sites are storing your personal information? Anyone, from an employer to a former partner, can use these platforms to get details about your online presence, your home address, phone number, email, license plate, family members, financial information, even political views. Europe has laws that offer some protection, but in the US, the data is widely accessible. Even the FBI will buy this information from companies to spy on people without a search warrant. Our sponsor, Incogni, provides a solution. It takes just seconds to sign up, and Incogni will send removal requests to all of the major data brokers, legally compelling them to get rid of your data. Incogni keeps you informed throughout the process. You'll get real-time updates, who has complied, which ones are still pending. They'll handle follow-ups, they'll handle appeals on your behalf, and this will save you hundreds of hours. Very few people have the time or resources to do this on their own. This service can also reduce the number of spam calls and emails you get, since many solicitors and scammers get your information from these very same sources. Go to incogni.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman for 60% off. The link is below.